Murphy! Here, let me look at you. Louis told me something terrible has happened. I've been worried sick.
Since when do you care about what happens to me? Don't tell me your little Grinch heart has grown 3 sizes in the last 7 years.
Oh, Lord. Please don't tell me that lump on your head has turned you back into the pathetic, pestering P.I. I used to know. This is a nightmare.
Now that's the Rook I know. For a minute, I thought you'd started carrying a song in your heart.
It's temporary, though, right? A side effect? Please tell me you'll be changing back.
Well, one of these nights, you're going to get visited by 3 ghosts, and it's going to be very scary for you, but then we're going to have turkey and everything's going to be great.
Look, Murphy, I'll grant you have some detective skills, but it was all relentless, annoying banter and endless questions to me. Imagine my surprise when, over the past few years, you turned into someone I could actually tolerate.
No kidding. So what was it you loved most about the new me?
You cut out all the chit-chat and became a no-nonsense customer who pays in cash. You always seem to have plenty of cash.
Oh, I get it. All of a sudden, I get some dough, and suddenly we're best friends. So why'd I come up with so much cash?
Well, how should I know? I mean, if I'd asked you that 2 days ago, you would have punched me in the face.
Okay, I'll cut the chit-chat. Just tell me where I come up with all this cash.
All my transactions are done in strictest confidence. That hasn't changed.
Hello, the new text and the old text, they're technically the same. Cough it up.
Fine. Though I don't know anything that could possibly explain what's happened to you. Believe me, I'd tell you if I did. Now I suppose this is where you ask if I mind answering a few questions, but this is not for old time's sake. You became a sullen, short-tempered bully, and I miss that desperately. I heard a commotion and saw a crazed man running willy-nilly down the street and 2 other men in pursuit. I was hoping they would tear that flop house down, and they would have too if it weren't for that meddling Clint. Such an upbeat, chipper little man. Utterly obnoxious. I went there once, never again. What with that herbal tea and incense, it's a veritable gas chamber. Oof. I knew she'd get nothing but trouble being with you. Louis' niece is an absolute delight. What she sees in you is an absolute mystery. A prince among men makes me wish I could still eat solid food. Years ago, after Chelsea disappeared, you came to me looking for leads to some valuable items, among them a lost Fabergé egg. You left the street for a long time. When you returned to Chandler Avenue, you seemed like a different person, darker, more dangerous. I understand you have a thing for holograms. Maybe she's just your type. I'm sure you know much more about that than I. Some say you know exactly what happened. That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me. Why would I know anything about that? If the police confiscated it, I suggest you talk to the police about it. What is that? Maldonado? He puts the P.I. in pig. I heard you two had something of a rivalry going on. Like I always say, you can take a bum out of a dumpster, but you'll never get a dumpster out of a bum. Next question.
Now that Rook's is open, I'll bet his back gate's open too. Yeah, I used to come back here and shoot hoops until I threw my back out.
Ten seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's fouled.
Or was it my front? Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. It's Rook's hydropod garden. Whenever I see this, I think of Gordon Fitzpatrick from my Pandora case.
We've got to get this ship as far as possible from the planet Earth in that little time.
You know how to fly?
I know.
How do you know it even works?
I know how to fly. My father, a long time ago. Listen to me now, follow me. This is important. My mother's an American woman in Nebraska, but my father's DNA is in me. I know how to fly this ship.
He wasn't from around here, or even from this solar system. Why would a little gremlin like Rook have a basketball hoop? Ah, yes. Llama Claus would bring packs of cigarettes to all the good children around the world. Rumor is Zach Williams, owner of the electronics shop, is tied to organized crime. Well, we've had our problems in the past. For example, the last time I was here, he shot my credit card into 1,000,000 pieces. I'm hoping he's in a little better humor today and doesn't blow my brains out, or even worse.
Okay, I don't want any trouble.
Well, that makes 2 of us. Last time I was here, you shot my credit. Literally.
Why do you keep hassling me about that? That was years ago. I paid back all those interest charges. Plus interest.
You did? Well, I must say, customer service has gotten considerably better around here.
Everyone knows what happens to people who get on your bad side. Only one reason you ever come in here, and it ain't to buy anything. You know all our stuff is junk.
I just want to know what's going on upstairs.
Look, the guys upstairs don't want any trouble either. They said you can have whatever you want at cost. And you can even put it on credit. Then I'll just tear up the bill.
Oh, I'm not talking about your bosses. I'm talking about the guy upstairs, the, dead one.
Look, I know how much you hated Maldonado, and I probably shouldn't have let him use the second floor. But he was paying cash, and he kept a low profile. So I thought it was all good. I didn't know what he was doing up there, and I didn't want to know.
So how about you answer a few questions for me, and maybe things will end up a little better for you than they did for, say, Carlos?
You the man, okay? We good? Look, I told the cops I wasn't here, which is technically true. I just parked out back when I heard the gunshots. So I just started the engine right back up and got the hell out. You live there, so I'm not going to say a thing about it. That place opened up a couple of months ago. Doesn't look like my kind of joint. I do love Louie's cooking. Just don't ask what's in it and you'll be fine. All I know is you ain't the same guy that came slinking in here 7 years ago. Sorry to hear about that. Is that what turned you into Mr. Badass? I think he's the one who came by to check in on Maldonado. Must have been a client. Don't know anything else about him. I saw him bringing some cameras, so he must have been recording the surveillance. But whatever he had got confiscated by the cops. I sell items to customers, not purchase them. Sure, Maldonado was a creep, but his money spent just the same. He said he needed to do a stakeout of the Ritz. Didn't mention any specific names. Didn't sound like a big deal, and he was offering a good chunk of change. That guy's a go-getter. Why don't you get him to answer these questions? Let's just leave me out of this, okay?
Inspector Burns finally opened his own barbecue joint. I bet it tastes just like arson in your mouth. Inspector Burns finally opened his own barbecue joint. I bet it tastes just like arson in your mouth.
It's real good having you stop in more regular. How can I help you? I can't really talk about that. If she died the way the cops said she did, burned inside your speeder, it's just too much to think about. I keep a little hope that maybe she ain't dead at all. Or at least that maybe she died in a more peaceful way. So that so-and-so was spying on you. Well, you and I wasn't real close, so I couldn't say why he'd been doing that. I'm no good with that computer stuff, but that little fella at the barbecue joint is a whiz. I'll bet he could get you taken care of. You wouldn't remember him. He moved into the neighborhood a few years back. Not a pleasant man. I'll leave it at that. That Clint's really come up in the wild. Though I still hide the chocolate cake when he drops by. I don't want him falling back into his old ways. Yeah, same old ornery cuss he ever was. Don't bother me none. I guess I'm just used to it. Zach don't come in here a whole lot. I guess he don't like my food much. Haven't had another food joint on the street since Francesca ran the Slice of Heaven. I thought it might cut into my business some, but not so far. Maybe we just don't have a lot of barbecue eaters around here.
As I step into Inspector Burns' barbecue, I think I'm having a stroke. But no, burning toast is their special today. Behind the counter is the kid who Louis referred me to as the computer whiz.
When you come to my house, come down behind the jail. I got a sign on my door, barbecue for sale. I'm talking about my barbecue.
Welcome to Inspector Burns' Barbecue. My name is Mojo. Special of the day is chili con carnage. They'll destroy your hunger as well as your taste buds. Order when you're ready.
Miami Vice. A ham, cheese, and habanero corn dog, deep fried and wrapped in bacon. Does that come with a free colonoscopy?
Hey, you're Tex Murphy.
And you're Mojo. What a shagadelic name, baby, yeah!
My real name is Mordecai Josephus.
Are you serious? Well, that's my real name, too.
No way!
Yeah, well, it's pretty close. It's actually Tiberius, James Tiberius. Then my mom, she starts calling me Tibby. And, well, I had to come up with something that I could live with.
The ultimate Tex Murphy trivia. You just made my day. Look, I don't mean to geek out on you here, but you're Tex Murphy. Badass private eye. Man out of time. Always quick with a joke or his fist. What are you doing in a dump like this?
Well, I wanted to find out what was incinerating all the cockroaches.
Nice. Classic Tex Murphy.
I'll tell you what. You buy me lunch, we'll call it even.
Oh, you don't want to eat here. The food really will burn your face off. Inspector Burns is a bitter man. So, what are you working on? Wait, let me guess. Some kind of case just dropped in your lap. Seems like a small-time job, but there are tons of loose ends leading in all kinds of directions, and you are blindly getting nowhere.
Well, yeah, that is kind of what's happening.
Oh, I could help you.
Well, I could use a good caterer.
You are killing me. Look, Mr. Murphy, you fancy yourself as sort of a timeless classic, a PI archetype for the ages. You know your way around a crime scene, but it's no secret that you're not so good at high-tech gadgets. That's where I come in.
Fine. I have a fax machine, for God's sake, and I barely know how to use that.
Whatever I can do, just let me know. I just can't believe I got a chance to meet my idol. Me and Archie are buds. So glad Archie opened up his shop here. He's like a god at all this conspiracy stuff. Chelsea Bando, the Nora to your Nick. I wish I could have met her. Inspector Burns has tried to torch the Bruin stew at least twice. Sometimes I spend hours just thinking about what kind of baby she and I would have together. Sorry you lost her, but man, did you ever get an attitude? You think Maldonado was spying on you? Not surprising. Sure, I can decrypt a memory stick, no problem. It may take a while, at least a day. He's the guy you hired to take photos of your cheating wife. You're the guy they hired to beat the crap out of the guy you catch with your wife. Comes in here all the time to eat just so he can complain. He says he likes barbecue, so I'm not sure why he eats here. Like Inspector Burns says, it all tastes the same when your tongue's charred.
Another item on my to-do list today is checking out Maldonado's regular office that's on the street.
Hey, Tex. How's your case progressing? Let me check. I can confirm that Mason Bowers has been a registered guest here. Sorry, Tex. I'm not allowed to give out any more information than that. If I could smell, I'm pretty sure he would stink. Always looks like he's up to something unsavory. The Ritz landlord? Seems like he may have a couple of screws loose, but nice enough. That crusty old perv is always coming in here trying to get a peek at my underpixels. I think the kid who works here has a crush on me. Maybe one of these days I'll rock his little world.
Always happy to help out my best tenant. That little gremlin's never forgiven me for stealing his newspapers and using them for blankets. That guy's all mobbed up, so I keep my distance. I haven't tried it. They say that the sauce will melt your eyeballs, and that's a risk I'm just not willing to take.
As I made it perfectly clear, your status as a paying customer earns you a modicum of goodwill. I suggest you use it judiciously.
Sorry, you lost me at modicum. Look, answer a few questions for me and I won't kick your butt when I get my memory back.
At least he knows how to keep his mouth shut. Just smelling the fumes coming off that establishment irritates my bowels.
What the hell is that?
Well, that was sooner than I expected. Next time, try destroying the SFO pad before entering Meldondo's office.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Wow, nothing is so simple and wonderfully effective as blunt force trauma.
It's locked. I won't be able to enter without proper... It's locked. I won't be able to enter without... Nice to meet you, Maldonado.
What crime against humanity have you created?